And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the dog, or should I say Aaron the pup for this type of card, back with another UFC betting breakdown with just my 2 cents. Main event this week, Jack Hermansson and Joe Pyfer. Okay. Sure, why not? Who cares? Co-main event, Dan Ige and Andre Fili. They somehow haven't fought yet, but now that they will amend that. Before I get any further, just my 2 cents. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, my friend. Thank you very much for having me. Shout out to you and everyone in the chat. We got a fight card, boys. Like, be careful what you wish for, because this is the kind of fight, this is the kind of card you get when you complain about, there's no card every week. Well, if you want a card every week, this is what you're gonna get. So here we are. But I'm happy to be here, man. And we got like a pay-per-view opener for a main event. So here we go.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly it's a decent fight, I guess. In all honesty, but yeah, this is an interesting overall card. I don't have a whole lot of fights I feel like getting super involved with. I'll start out saying that. But I still watch it. I still love the sport. Still want to go through it. Obviously, I always will when I come out with a video. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started. We got a guy who I've really liked for a while, but he's had trouble getting another fight. Daniel Marcos taking on Archie Lang here. Right off the bat, I don't think Daniel Marcos won his last fight against Davey Grant. I think that was a very fortunate decision. I went back and watched it. I still think so. Do you agree with that? 2 cents.
I have not gone back and watched it, but I remember being like very fortunate for my Marcos pick. I will say that.
Yeah, but Marcos, late to UFC, almost 31 years old at this point. Really good striker. Doesn't offer a whole lot in the realm of grappling, in the realm of wrestling. Archie Lang, super questionable gas tank. Usually looked a little bit better in the last fight. And this is a fight where it's really hard for me to get on Daniel Marcos. I'll just say that at the price he's at. I think that this feels like they're trying to get you to bet Archie Lang. And I'm just going to leave it alone. But minus 260 on Marcos is crazy to me. Plus 210 on Archie Lang in a fight that I think could easily be a toss-up going into the third round. Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it, but I'll take Marcos. Obviously like to see a finish on Marcos. I think after the last fight, he has a lot to prove, but we'll see. We'll see how good he is, because he kind of came out of nowhere on the Contenders series to win that fight. So, but this is one where anybody betting Archie Lang at this price, I get it.
Dude, I pretty much exactly agree. I'm not touching it at all. I'm going to go ahead and pick Marcos just because of I mean, it's not like it's a ton, but Archie Lang has been sat down a couple times in the UFC, albeit by, decent strikers, I guess. But I think Marcos is a good striker, and I don't know if he knocks him out. I'll say Marcos decision, like maybe hurts him, and then Archie Lang steals the third round. I'm not super high on either guy. Marcos, man, people really seem to be loving Marcos this week, and I totally concur with you on not like getting like cheeky with like parlaying Marcos and getting chalky with him. But yeah, give me Marcos by well, I won't say greasy. I'll say it's like 29-28 unanimous.
Yeah, and at minus 260, it's just nothing that you want anything to do with. And that's at bantamweight, by the way. Next fight, this is just a weird fight. I don't understand. Fernie Garcia going to 145 now after 3 straight losses, I guess, whatever. Archie Lang, low fight IQ, Marcos KO. I'd love to see it. And depending on the number, I could get there. Haider Emil taking out Fernie Garcia. I didn't know Fernie Garcia was going to featherweight. he wasn't a particularly large bantamweight. And yeah, I think that featherweight is going to go poorly for Fernie Garcia. Haider Emil coming off a really kind of just greasy, late notice Fernie moving up a weight class. Something that honestly, I'm just going to stay away from this whole week, not to get ahead to the Chumbawamba fight. But I don't like guys coming in on short notice, moving up a weight class to face a guy who's obviously at a high level. And I do think Haider Emil is good. I think he's a lot better than the Somaz fight on the Contenders Series was. And I just don't see Fernie having a ton of success on the feet. I don't see him having a lot of success on the wrestling and getting this into a jiu-jitsu type of match. I think Haider is going to knock him out. So this is one where it's approaching minus 200, and I understand why. I do think Haider is the better side by a wide margin. To be at a decent level of competition on the regional scene as well. Yeah, I like Haider here, and I like him by knockout. So I see the under 2.5 at plus 180. I'm kind of surprised by that. I do think that Haider puts him out of there, and I think that he puts him out of there early. So what's your thoughts on this one, 2 cents?
Man, I don't have a lot to add. I'm going to go on the Emil side too, I guess. I'm not touching it, though. I kind of want to wait and see what I got here. He has been doing a little bit can crushing, but I've never really rated Fernie Garcia too high. I think Emil probably takes care of business. I'm not real bullish on like him, what method of victory it is, but I think he probably gets it done. But at the price tag, no thank you. I just kind of want to wait and want to see what I got here. I think he should be able to take, if he's, I agree with you. I think he is a legit fighter, and you should be able to take care of a fighter like Fernie Garcia.
Yeah, Haider, again, late to UFC, approaching 34 years old, 33 in 8 months here for his debut. So definitely making up for some lost time. Drink every time they bring up Gilbert Melendez, because Gilbert Melendez will be in his corner. So... And then, Fernie Garcia, I think he's been talking about the R word for his last 2 or 3 fights, honestly, and he's fighting like it too. So I don't know. I don't think Fernie's got to
see either. It's like the best you can get is plus 170.
Yeah, plus 165, minus 198 on Haider right now. So yeah, I mean, I understand the pass completely. Honestly, when we're building the Zhongli for a card like this, Haider's going to make it on it, though. I'll be honest with you right now. Zach Pahuga, Bogdan Uskov here at light heavyweight. This is a fighter of all fights here. Wow. This is going to be either a right hand knockout by Bogdan on Zach Pahuga, who has been rocked multiple times in his last fight by right hands against Bukauskas. He had his moments against Bukauskas as well, but I think Bukauskas is better than both these guys, honestly. Or we're going to see Zach Pahuga vertical wrestling against the cage, getting this down to the ground, a little bit of ground and pound, maybe try to advance the mount and then not strike, get Warren to move around, and then do that again. So I think this is going to be a boring fight. I got Zach Pahuga by cage wrestling. This is another fight that I get why the line's at where it's at. I still don't really want anything to do with it. It would not surprise me if Gustav gets KO at all, because Pahuga has been rocked by right hands in multiple times in his fights, and that's all that Gustav knows how to throw.
It's true, man. A smart man would probably pass on that, but I don't know. I won't call myself a total dummy, but I'm on the other side here. I'm going to go. I bet Bogdan on Sunday. It's just, I don't think that Bogdan is as bad as his loss to Vulcan. And Zach Paugua is fucking nowhere near Volkan Ozdemir's level. I think this is a massive step down from Bogdan's like late notice debut. I don't think much of Pagua at all. You mentioned the dodgy chin. Not just that, dude. Like, you ain't getting Jordan Wright up out of there, dude. You are a total like fence pusher, like feckless fighter, honestly, to me. And I've been on record recently talking about how tough is Fugazi. I mean, I think we saw another example of that with Urbina last weekend. But yeah, I think Bogdan bounces back here. Bet him Sunday at plus 114. I have missed the line movement, so hopefully that's a good thing. It's kind of been a little bit of a mixed bag with that recently and my results. But yeah, man, I like Bogdan to just fucking crack this chin again. Like Mo Usman knocked him out. I don't think the world of Mo Usman either. But yeah, I think Bogdan gets a nasty, brutal fucking first round knockout. Let's go.
Yeah, down to plus 105. Here minus 125 on Pauga at this moment. Yeah, I just didn't think this, was really, really great. Yeah, thought the same thing about the Usman, a tough first fight. Zach,
a smart man probably passes. Like there's no real reason to get involved here, but it stood out to me. Like, and it's not just the fate on Pagua. Like I think Bogdan, he is a decent striker. That's all he's really got. I project his ceiling very fucking low in the division, but Pagua is just not good. And I think his Bogdan's greatest strength is Pagua's greatest weakness. So I think those two match up nicely.
Yeah, fair enough. So we've had a 31-year-old prospect, a 33-year-old prospect, a 35-year-old prospect. I'm using the word prospect kind of sarcastically here. And now a 37 and 38-year-old prospect here. And a combined 75 years of age, Jeremiah Wells and Max Griffin. Right away, I don't usually do the over-unders. I'm not a huge over-under guy myself, but I saw an over-under 2.5 at plus 110, and I jumped on it because I do think this is going the distance, this fight between these two. And I think it will either be Jeremiah, getting, the wrestling going, maybe landing some powerful shots and slowing down Max Griffin, or Max Griffin getting on that bicycle and lighting up with the volume and jabbing his way and kind of darting in and out to a decision. Maybe mix in some wrestling of his own once Wells is exhausted. Griffin live dog. I agree with Zach here. Yeah, what a big show. And yeah, no, I agree. I don't think Wells is either. I don't understand. This is one that when, I'm making my own lines and I look at it, I don't understand why Max Griffin is a dog, let alone a plus 130 dog. So I jumped on this one. This is my first dog of the night that I'm after, and it's Max Griffin. I think that of the two of these guys, I don't think either one has a great chance of finishing the other, but I'd say Max Griffin has a little better chance of finishing Wells than the other way around. And I do think Wells is going to be able to kind of just maneuver him, out-vet him. While they are only 1 year apart in age, I do think there's a significant experience advantage on Max Griffin's side with regards to level of competition. And yeah, I just think this is an apex decision all day long, Max Griffin.
Dude, I tell you what, I didn't bet it, but the more I thought about it, I'm on Max Griffin too, man. I think you talked about the experience advantage, and you go back and look at Wells's record. Like, he's got a couple nice KOs. That the KO against Court McGee, like one punching a dude that's never really been slumped like that, is impressive. But I think he's got to land the big one. Honestly, like I like the stylistic matchup. Griffin out fighting, and he's not pillow fisted himself, man. Like, I know Wells has never been knocked out, but I wouldn't be surprised if Griffin buzzed him, man. He gets it's weird with Griffin, man, because he gets like a lot of knockdowns, but then he has like mixed results with winning and losing the fight. So I do think it goes the distance. But I like Griffin to get the decision here, man. I think Wells is honestly kind of a limited fighter, and both of these guys are like way older than you would think. Honestly, to me, they seem like they're both a few years younger than what their real age is. But yeah, man, I mean, I might be a little biased here. Got a shout out my dude Mills. He interviewed Max Griffin a few days ago, so yeah, it might be a little bit of the bias, but dude, I just think Griffin is a little bit better of a fighter. He's more complete. He's got better wins, and he's been fighting for way longer, and he knows how to squeak, well, might not even need to squeak it out. He knows how to get a decision. So yeah, give me Griffin here.
Yeah, plus 130 just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm on it. Minus 155 on Jeremiah Wells here. Combined age of 75 years old for these two in this one. I think it goes to distance. I really do. I'm just struggling to see a finish here. All right, next fight. 205 meme fight. Devin Clark, Marcin Prachnio. Marcin Prachnio got absolutely dominated in the wrestling in his last fight against pretty much a pure striker. And he just made the Brazilian look like a Division I wrestler. Once he was on his back, there was next to no resistance. On the feet, there was some good moments for Prachnio, good leg kicks, darting in and out with some good, attacks with some 1-2s and whatnot. Like he's got decent karate, and that's about it. He's got a high quit gene, and once you mentally defeat him, he doesn't kind of recollect from that. Usually he finds a way out, and if he does stay in the fight, he kind of just starts going through the motions. So I can't see how Prachnio doesn't make Devin Clark look like an absolute wizard. So I think that Devin Clark beats him up for the first round. Second round gets an arm triangle submission.
Yeah, this is such a greasy fucking fight, dude. This fight is card in a nutshell. This is like a microcosm of this whole fucking card. Just sketchy, man. Like, yeah, I think Devin Clark's the side. I think he probably out wrestles Prachnio. Neither one of these guys are very durable, dude. They've both been knocked out more than 3 times. I'd say Prachnio's a little bit chinnier. Like Clark, probably a little bit tougher, but I really don't like his fight IQ whatsoever. But yeah, he's a better wrestler, and I trust him he is the dog of the two, I would say. Like, I think he's the rougher, tougher fighter by a little bit. Against a better level fighter, his chin doesn't usually hold up. But I don't know, man. I don't think Prachnio is the kind of fighter that's just gonna go in there and fucking slump him. So yeah, give me Devin Clark by something decision. I don't trust Devin Clark enough like to lay anything on him myself. But of course, if he's in the Zhang Li, he does seem like a favorite that should get it done. I just don't like Prachnio at all. I never have. But I will be like honest and forthcoming. Like, over fading Prachnio has been an issue for me in the past. You look at the Khalil Roundtree fight, but that's such a fucking anomaly. Yeah, I'll say Devin Clark, man, just to get it done somehow.
Yeah, it's a fight that I'm considering for the Zhang Li, but even at that, I'm not sure if I even wanted part of that. Minus 230 on Devin Clark is hard to get to.
Yeah, that's it's gross. This fucking card is gross. Like, I mean, this fight, yeah, I'm gonna watch it, but it's like, God, it's so greasy.
And again, combined age of 68, we got a nearly 34-year-old against a 35-year-old. We're gonna see a lot of these guys on the UFC roster watch Twitter page.
No shit, dude. He is gonna be a fucking busy man.
Yeah. All right, let's wash the taste out of our mouth with some strawweight action with Bruna Brazil coming back against Loma Lakbume. Look, man, I don't really know with this fight. I think that Bruna Brazil does not like getting into a dogfight. That's for sure. I think Loma is down for a dogfight. That's for sure. I think that Loma's got that dog in her. I think she just starts to saft the will of Bruna Brazil as this fight goes. I could see a late finish for Loma, maybe, a round 3 KO or decision. So maybe the round 3 decision play for Loma here. Bruna, I just don't trust her, man. I do not trust her. She is fragile. to the highest extent of the law. Yeah, I'm not buying into her. I think Loma has slowly improved through her UFC career as well in the other stages of MMA, but yeah, I can't go with Bruna Brazil. I got Loma and $0.0 on this fight. Fuck that.
Well, that's because you're a smart man. Yeah, dude. Now, let me say this: oversimplifying mid-level chick fights has been my fucking undoing, dude. It has been the bane of my existence at times. But I think this is the mismatch of the card. I think Loma is going to whoop this fucking bitch's ass. I think it's a first round KO. Maybe not first round KO, but I think she gets to her. I think she is, like you said, she is the dog. She's willing to get nasty, and Brazil likes a nice, pretty point fighting fight. And nah, man, I think the level of competition is not the same. The durability definitely isn't the same. The power, I don't know. Like Bruna Brazil is a good striker offensively, but I think Loma's well-roundedness and her ability, like if Brazil is not at distance, if they get up to the fence or like Loma's able to close the distance, dude, her clinch is fucking nasty. She's gonna rough her up in the clinch. Might even get like a body lock trip takedown. But yeah, give me Loma all day. I think she fucks this chick up.
Yeah, that's about all we gotta say. I mean, Loma's always gonna be smaller. To Noah's point here, he says Loma looks way smaller. She is always gonna be smaller. If they open up a 105 division, I could see her immediately going down there. But I still think she has enough to beat someone like Bruna. But Bruna 5'6", Loma 5'1", so there is a pretty significant size advantage there for Bruna. So we'll see. Yeah, and also Loma's minus 270, near minus 280, plus 225 on Bruna. I understand the shot anybody's taking. So it's a fight I don't want anything to do with. This fight, also, I think I don't want much to do with, but I do think it will be interesting. Timothy Kawamba making the trip to the UFC, taking on Bolaji Oki, who won on the Contender Series against the French Glory kickboxer. Just kind of went wild with it, and got it done. Long, rangy, lightweight, only 5'10", but has a significantly longer reach than his opponent. And I do believe it's, while it's listed at 2 inches, I think it's longer than that and used more effectively. Timothy also coming up to lightweight for the debut. It's a double debut as well. Don't know how they're going to respond. They've been in the Apex before. Kawamba's fought a decent level of competition, been able to get it done. I think he's got to go to the wrestling, and I think that's a tough ask on short notice to kind of sustain throughout the fight. But I do think that's more his route to go than in the stand-up, at least early on. But I'm not sure how his gas tank will look later on either. There's just a lot of unknowns here. I will take Oki by KO, but props to Timothy for stepping up. And it's debut against debut. It's Contender Series number 2. Who's going to get their second Contender Series win? I'm going to take Bolaji.
I am going to piggyback your sentiment of there being a lot of unknowns here. And dude, is this not the kind of fight that the fucking community gets the most contentious about? People are already at each other's throats about this fight. I want absolutely nothing to fucking do with it. I'm going to sit back and watch y'all tear each other apart. That is going to be my entertainment. I did tape this fight. I watched about as many of their fights as I could. I pretty much blind. I didn't remember the Contender Series fights of either. Yeah, I think that what I came away with was that I think Kawamba does have a speed advantage a little bit. Like Oki is kind of slow. Both of them have pretty good boxing. The problem is the defense on the feet. Kawamba, like, I was noticing in Oki's fights that sometimes he slips the wrong way. Like he slips the right hand to the inside and sometimes that can like you can kind of like time that and counter it and set him up, set traps with when you do that kind of shit. But he's making an effort to move his head out of the way, and he does have good defense, and like he does have pretty good head movement. Kwamba doesn't even try to fucking move his head, dude. He just he moves side to side, straight in, straight out, and just head on the center line. So if they're striking, I think Oki's gonna fuck this dude up. But if there is going to be a rat, if there is going to be wrestling rattery transpiring, it's going to be on the Kwamba side. He is the one that I think will be like desperate to get takedowns if it's not going his way. That's why I don't want anything to do with it. I'm going to pick Oki though. I think he's overall I think he's a little bit more dangerous. I think he's the better fighter. I think he's the better striker after watching tape. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm just going to be yeah.
Yeah, and Zach mentioning how Kwamba fought a week ago against Michael Stack, knocked him out, looked good in the fight. So Michael Stack, terrible fighter, to be honest with you though. But yeah, I like Balaji here. But again, it's one where I look at the price and I'm like, why? Minus 200 to plus 165. I'm leaving it alone on both sides and going on with my day. Featured prelim. This one, another one that I don't want anything to do with, to be honest with you. If anything, I might get there on Trevin Giles. Just because Carlos Paredes, we don't know a lot about how good this guy is against true levels of competition. He is a great hammer. He looks really good while doing it. Scores clean knockouts. Got taken down by Mitch Ramirez in that fight quite easily. I did not like that at all. And a guy like Trevin Giles, if he gets this fight down, I think is much more of a submission threat and a threat to keep the fight there. And it looked like Paredes had next to no defense, honestly, for the wrestling. So that's the first thing. Second thing, he's beating a lot of just random regional Brazilians like Charles Oliveira, the middleweight edition of Charles Oliveira, Mosir Rocha, like just guys who aren't that great. And yes, he gets these highlights in LFA, and that's great and everything like that. He has also been submitted early in his career, hasn't been submitted since 2016, but hasn't faced really a great level of competition if you go through it. And, while Giles has, a few losses on the record, but beats kind of a certain level of competition, has that win over Roman Dolidze back in 2021 that I think is pretty highly rated. Losing to Adrikis, losing to Morales, losing to Bonfim. Like, I'm not rating those as huge losses either. And I think that Carlos could come out here and look like a minus 500 very easily. I think that, he could put away Giles very early, but Giles, fought Morales really, really tough and, was in some trouble, had Morales in some trouble before he was put away here. But, I'm going to leave it alone as of now, but I could definitely see a world where Giles just exposes Carlos as kind of a can-crushing fraud.
Brother, I know you just said that you're getting there on Trevin Giles. I've gotten there on Trevin Giles. I'm picking Giles to win this. I haven't quite squeezed the trigger on.
I haven't bet it. I'm there on Giles with respect to a pick. I just haven't bet it.
Right on. Yeah, I'm right there. Like I'm picking Trevin Giles here, man. I went back and watched some of his fights. I watched I taped Prates, and yeah, I mean you said it, dude. When he looks good, it's good. It's against fucking nobodies, and dude, he's kind of like a lumbering, like plotting Muay Thai stylist, and Trevin Giles is kind of like a stick and move like out fighter. I think he's gonna keep the broomstick in his face, bust him up, and yeah, man, I think if you take the ease off the gas at the level of competition, like Giles is a decent fighter. And you look at when has he lost 2 fights in a row? Dricus and fucking Michael Morales. That is not Carlos Prates, dude. I think he bounces back here. This would be if Trevin Giles loses here. It's possible. Like Prates is heavy-handed, and Giles does not have a great chin, nor does he have good fight IQ.
Plus 210 is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like it's really a juicy fucking cheeseburger, dude. It's staring me in the face. But I don't know. I haven't quite gotten there yet, but I'm picking him, man. I think he will kind of expose this dude. It's a guy that's had a lot of fights, but just getting to, like, he's got almost over 20 fights, and he's just getting to the UFC. And he's how old is he?
30 and a half, according to his Brazilian birth certificate.
Right. It's like not like old, but I mean, fuck, he's not
young.
Another 30,
yeah, another 30 and a half-year-old prospect.
Dude, he doesn't have a squeaky clean record either. He's been knocked out by nobodies and lost to fucking Dave LeDuc, the Lethway god, and man, Giles here.
Yep. I like being on the same page there. I can see myself getting to a bet there very soon. Plus 210 seems incorrect.
I mean, all that talk about minimizing loss and like that's value. Honestly, if you ask me, like that's I know that you can't look at like, oh, dude, he beat Ryan Spann 10 years ago, but like, it wasn't that long ago that he beat Roman, and
he's fighting at 170, and I think gotten that weight cut pretty figured out. Better chance of a vet lesson. I'm ironically there on both these guys with Max and Giles, so I would say Max slightly, but it's also you're getting plus 130 compared to plus 210. So, it should be that way. All right, next fight, middleweight fight, battle of the clash of the styles here in this one, Petrosian versus Rodolfo. Rodolfo, if he gets this down, I think he gets the submission done. If he doesn't get this down, I think he gets KO'd. Armen Petrosian, I think, gets the KO. I'll take Armen Petrosian to wear him down and to get the KO in round 2. Simple as that. I'm just going to keep it very simple in this fight.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same, man. I'm a bit of a Petrosian. I won't say I'm like a stan, but I'm a fan of the dude. Sometimes it's to my detriment, but I think that he's shown pretty good takedown defense, and I trust his takedown defense more than I trust Vieira on the feet. And I've seen him, like, everyone's like, well, he did get put in this bad spot by so and so, and Rodriguez is so much better than Vieira. It's like, I get all that, man, but like Vieira does not present the threat on the feet that those guys do. So if they're on the feet, man, Armin is gonna fucking light him up. I could see him head kick KOing him.
Cody Brundage buzzed Rodolfo multiple times in that last fight.
Armin is not like easy to take down, and he's a much better striker. So yeah, let me get Armin here. Decision or KO. Haven't decided on that yet, but yeah, give me Petrosian. I'm not going to get crazy with it, but that's my pick.
Yeah, no, I think he's an underdog who shouldn't be an underdog, even if it's just slight. Minus 102, currently minus 118 for Rodolfo. I just think Armin keeps this the grappling round.
Dude, there is some weird hate energy surrounding Armin Petrosian. Dude, people, I don't know what this dude did to some of y'all, but like people love to dog on Armin Petrosian. It's like he ain't gonna never be champion. I'm not saying that, but he ain't that fucking bad for an action fighter. He's all right.
He's fought all of like my favorite fighters, if I'm being honest, and he's beat some of them, so I kind of salty towards him, but I'm still picking him here.
Hey, man of honor.
Yeah, 185 to start out the main card. Next fight, this is just a good old-fashioned slobber knocker, JR. Michael Johnson, Darius Flowers. They're going to stand in the middle, and they're going to throw down until one of them goes down. I could see Darius Flowers turning Michael Johnson into a bit of a panic wrestler late. I do think that Darius Flowers finds that kill switch on Michael Johnson somewhere inside the first 2 rounds. This is a Darius Flowers supporting channel, so always take that into account when you're going to bet. Darius Flowers from me travels all around, travels in fights and trains with a lot of the best guys. And yeah, I get it. Flowers had a bad boxing career. I don't care. This ain't boxing. This is MMA. I got Darius Flowers connecting on Michael Johnson, putting him out.
I don't hate that, and I certainly understand it, and I would never bet this fight. But I'm going to ride one more time with MJ. Just hear me out. I'm not trying to convince anybody to bet Michael. Dude, stay the fuck away from this fight. Something crazy is going to happen here. I don't really want to get involved whatsoever, but I don't know, man. You can look. Johnson doesn't have a great chin, right? But and when he goes down really fucking. I mean, he gets turned into a fucking meme. But he's not Andrei Arlovsky, man. It's not like he's been knocked out like 75 times. It's literally been 3 times. By Carlos Diego Ferreira, by Josh Emmett, and by fucking my dude, the highlight. That ain't Darius Flowers. I don't know, man. I can see Johnson getting starched, but he's the better. Johnson is the better fighter, and just we're not even going to talk about the record. That's a joke, but yeah, I get the Flowers side, and I'm not touching it. But yeah, I'm going to pick Johnson. We'll see what happens, but yeah, something going to happen. Something crazy is going to happen here.
Yeah, if this goes the distance, it's going to be an absolute war, I think.
Could be fight of the night if it goes the distance for sure.
Yep, I think it's going to be fighter performance of the night, depending on what happens. And getting them closer to that even 500 record. Middleweight fight next. Brad Tavares finally getting his starching from Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez. This is a Darius Flowers channel. It's also a Gregory RoboCop Glass Cannon Rodriguez channel. Brad Tavares, the chin has been cracked multiple times. Gregory Rodriguez is going to be the next to do so. I believe they've had this fight lined up a few times. UFC knows what they're doing. They're getting their highlight reel KO of Brad Tavares by Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez here. I'd be very surprised to see any different result in this one. I really would. I just think that Brad Tavares is pretty much done at this point. If he wins, it's by decision because that's the only way he knows how to win, and it will be a sad day. But I got Gregory Rodriguez by KO. Even though I like to see him use his jiu-jitsu, I think in this one he's not going to get to it. I think he KOs him early.
Historically, I have been a RoboCop detractor or skeptic. I have paid for that dearly several times with my pride and a little bit of my money. I hope I'm not bringing any kind of bad juju or anything, but I'm picking Rodriguez as well. The more I think about this, he is. You said it. He's a glass cannon, but that cannon is real, brother. If you're asking me who hits harder, it is most fucking certainly Gregory Rodriguez. Tavares is actually older and been chinned more times. So I think he is a little, and he doesn't, man, RoboCop is a dog. He doesn't have a good chin, but that motherfucker will go out on his shield. Tavares is a little scary in there, dude. I know he had a tough fight with Dricus, but other than that, man, he kind of gets that wide-eyed look. And I think Rodriguez, if he smells blood in the water, I think he's gonna get Tavares out of there. I could actually see a submission. Maybe he club and subbing this guy, but yeah, give me RoboCop. I'm too scared here to touch it, but yeah, RoboCop is not a fighter that I have like great. I'm definitely not a whisperer there. So give me Gregory with a little bit of trepidation.
Minus 240, plus 195 on Brad Tavares. Yeah, I think that's unfortunately they've got that line exactly correct. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think through how to bet that one. But obviously he's in the Zhongli. ER Porteria taking on Robert Brezik. What can I say? This is a short notice, weird ass fight at 185. With ER taking it on, short notice here. Yeah, I think that whoever wins this fight is going to win it by a mean KO, probably. I think this is kind of similar to the Michael Johnson and Darius Flowers fight where these boys are going to stand in the middle. They're going to throw down. No one's going to the ground. We got Robert Brzyk, a 33-and-a-half-year-old prospect being signed to the UFC after beating not really that great a competition. It's just kind of strange. Eeyore coming in on short notice. And he's a decent dog. I get all the plays on Eeyore here. I don't know how you're playing Brzyk and feeling comfortable with yourself at minus 175, but good luck to you if you are. For my official pick, give me Eeyore by first round KO.
Dude, pass or pass?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why not just see what happens? Like, it's why you are gonna sweat. Why sweat? Why put anything on this and sweat it? I mean, this is just such a degenerate fight to get greasy with. But yeah, I did some Brychek, however the fuck you pronounce his Polish last name. I'm not sure, but
yeah, Octagon isn't that bad though. That's fair, but
no, it's like it's not. He looks like the striking looks good on tape. I think definitely on the sauce. But I think Ihor probably too. So yeah, man, I would like Ihor a lot more if he hadn't just gotten fucked up like 2 months ago, man. Like that, this is a really quick turnaround for him. I get Ihor. I like Ihor Boteria as like a lower level action fighter more than a lot of people do. A lot of people got so fucking salty over him knocking out Shogun and like doing that little dance. It's just like, just shut the fuck up. Shogun shouldn't even Shogun fighting is a joke at this point. That's the joke. But
and that's his only win in the UFC.
And yeah, but yeah, that's his only win. But man, like Bellato got the comeback victory of the year because Pateria almost put him out. So I definitely get to play on Ihor. One of the better fighters, or one of the more dangerous fighters that what's his fuck has fought. But I do like Brychek or whatever his name is. I like his striking, and I think Ihor is probably just going to fight him stupid, just come in there and just throw down with him and get chin. But yeah, it's such a fucking low level, like volatile. Just see what the fuck happens, man. Like, see what you got with Brychek and see if Ihor can get him another win. I don't know, man. I don't mind that. I totally get the Ihor side, but I'm going to pick Brychek and just stay far the fuck away.
Yeah, I'll take Eeyore and stay far away as well. Plus 145 on Eeyore here, minus 175 on Brychek. So all the power to you if you feel good one way or the other in that one. Dan Ige and Andre Fili. I checked. I swore this is the 55th time they had fought. They've never fought before. And yeah, this is just it's a really good fight. I think it's a very close fight. 33 and 32 years old, kind of the time running out at featherweight for both these guys. So very important fight for both guys' career. Obviously, Fili looking at really, really sharp, albeit against Lucas Almeida. Dan Ige coming off of that close loss to Bryce Mitchell. Does kind of open up some questions in the defensive grappling of Dan Ige and the everlong question of Andre Fili and if Andre Fili will use his wrestling, which he does have decent wrestling when he uses it. On the feet, I do think that Ige has the slight edge, but I do think Fili will want to hang on the feet, and that could be to the detriment. I think this is going to be a super close fight. And Fili just finds ways to kind of fumble those away, in my opinion. And so I got Ige in a close decision, not getting to the window on this one.
I don't blame you necessarily, but your boy has been, from time to time, been known as the Ige Whisperer. Now, my whispering in his last fight took a little bit of a hit, but you could look at it in a couple of different ways. Was I right for saying Dan Ige would win? And he probably did. Like, he probably did win that fight. Technically, he didn't, though. So is it like, what was I wrong there? So you can kind of mull that over. But I think I'm going to get back to my whispering ways. So I think Dan Ige wins this fight. I think he's the better fighter. And like you said, Feely kind of fucks up his step-up fight. So yeah, give me Dan Ige all fucking day.
Yep. Minus 175 on Dan Ige. Here, plus 145 on Andre Feely. Another fight that has a lot of potential for fight of the night, in my opinion.
I mean, it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a good fight, but Ige is the harder hitting fighter. I mean, Feely does hit hard, but I mean, he really only chins guys that aren't very good. You can kind of say the same for Ige, but I think overall, Ige's been fighting a higher level competition recently, and I think Feely's kind of shown that. I've seen both of their ceilings, I think, and I think Ige's is a little bit higher here. So I think he probably wins a reasonably competitive decision, but I'll say 29-28 unanimous Ige.
Yep, pretty much agree there. On to the main event. I can't believe we're right at a main event on this 14 fight card.
Dude, breezing right through it, man. I mean, that just speaks to the quality of this fucking card, don't it, boys?
It does a little bit. I hate to say it, but it does. Jack Hermansson, Joe Pyfer. Look, this fight, we don't know a lot about Joe Pyfer yet. We're gonna possibly learn a lot more, like what he looks like in a third round. I don't think he's seen a third round in something like 6 years. Dude's just a finisher or get finished type of fighter. 27 years old. Jack Hermansson now 35 years old, nearly 36 years old. I just don't think Jack Hermansson possesses the game plan and has the type of skills that are going to be needed to break and beat a guy like Joe Pyfer. I think that Pyfer is going to be able to keep this on the feet, and on the feet, it's not very close. Jack Hermansson does not throw leg kicks. I think that's one of the things that's going to be needed to beat a guy like Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer does not like leg kicks, and Hermansson doesn't throw leg kicks. I just find it hard to believe that he's going to be able to get and keep a guy like Joe Pyfer down also and get the grappling to where he needs to get it to. I don't like Jack Hermansson in this fight. The only thing I like about him over Joe Pyfer is that he has experience going beyond 2 rounds. And I think that's a big deal in a 5-round fight. This definitely could come down to just conditioning, in which Hermansson, even at nearly 36 years old, could end up being the winner here. Could find out that Joe Pyfer is just kind of an ultimate hammer and a terrible nail. And, at the same point, Hermansson's beat guys who are actually, relevant, while Pyfer's beat pretty much can so far. And, Gerald Meerschaert being his best win probably. So, I see the angle on a bet on Hermansson. I definitely do, but I got Joe Pyfer here. And, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to a decision. I really wouldn't. But yeah, I think Joe Pyfer. So, I'll take Pyfer by decision, and I'm not going to bet it, even though I'm sure it's a massive number.
What's the line right now?
The line overall is Pyfer minus 260 plus 210 on Hermansson. Pyfer by decision is plus 650.
God, nah, dude. No thanks. This is one I'm just listening to my dude show. I'm listening to my dude Big Show. Don't bet main events, brother. It bit me in the fucking ass last week. That was the first decision I made. I looked at this card. I said, you know what? That's a deep. We said it early. This is not the best card, but this is a decent fight. This is a pretty good fight. This is a. I think this is going to be a very informative fight. I think we're going to find out about Joe Pyfer. Jack Hermansson is a decent test. He's been in there with a lot of good guys. And like you said, he's got some good wins, man. He's got a win over Evan Shabazian, got a win over Chris Curtis, Kelvin. And you look at that and say, hey, they're good strikers. And yeah, so he stylistically, Hermansson can beat the style of fighter that Pyfer is. But I think that Pyfer does have I think he's more dangerous of a grappler than Shabazian and Curtis. Maybe not Kelvin, but Kelvin makes some dumb fucking decisions in the grappling department sometimes. And I think he's just I think my dude KG might be a little washed, man. I don't think Pyfer is washed, and that's kind of why I'm leaning towards Joe Pyfer. He's a guy that I've kind of been waiting to see tested. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this guy's the one. Like, I think I even picked GM3, but dude, I don't know, man. Like, Hermansson's really wonky on the feet, but I don't think he wants to try and get. He's gonna be electric sliding, like homie Noah likes to say. He's gonna be dancing around the outside with his awkward herky jerky boxing, and I just think Pyfer's a cleaner boxer. He hits harder, and I do want to see though. I do want to see him get extended. Like I honestly kind of hope it's not an early knockout. That's a lot of people seem to be thinking like he's gonna be like Pyfer knockout 1 or 2, like maybe. But if it does get extended, I almost kind of want it to. Like, let's see if this dude can go 5 rounds. Like, let's see if this dude can whoop some ass for 25 minutes. And Hermansson is a good guy to see. Like, Hermansson might not give him the fight he wants. Like I said, he's frustrated some other heavy-handed strikers, but I think that and I wouldn't mind seeing some grappling exchanges too. But yeah, give me Pyfer. Being the younger guy, Jack could. I'm not going to say he's washed, but I just think Pyfer's trajectory is a little bit higher, and I think he's, I think the youth and the speed and the power. I think he's going to boost the power, and yeah, I think he gets it done. Haven't decided on the method, but yeah, I think Pyfer. Hermansson is a legit test, and I think Pyfer passes it.
Yeah, man, I like it. I like it a lot. And I think that it should tell us a lot about both guys. Yeah, and Noah definitely on Jack Hermansson. So I always love being on the other side of Noah on main events, preferably, just because it gives me something to look forward to throughout this type of fight card, if I'm being honest with you. So excited to chop it up in the Dome. Shout out to the Dome. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Zhang Li. And speaking of Zhang Li, we have the Zhang Li, and I'm feeling chaotic on this Zhang Li.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm feeling chaotic on this Zhang Li. Just gonna warn you right now. And I always like to tease out. It's paying out nearly plus 3,000. This is Zhang Li.
Lord have mercy.
So I think it's going to be live at least early on. I got Daniel Marcos and Hyder Emil. I'm going to chalk it out to start out, chalk it out and walk it out to start out the card. I get it. I'm taking Max Griffin at the plus 130 mark, plus 210 Trevin Giles with the vet lesson on Pratis, and Armin Petrosian at even money to close out the Zhang Li parlay. And plus 20.
That is a sweaty Zhang Li, Bobo. Let's fucking go. Let's do
plus
it.
2,900. So place your bets right now to get that price. But yeah, I'm going in. Fuck it. Let's go. I'm excited and looking forward to this card because it's so early in the year. And if this card was happening in November, I probably would have made this a 20-minute video, bro, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, shout out to you, Noah. Shout out to Zhang Li. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I know the general popped through. Shout out to Zach. I saw him in there. Big show. Everybody showed love. Any thoughts, parting words? Just my 2 cents.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me every week. And yeah, I think this was a good one, man. We cranked it out in under an hour. Nice tidy little cast. And yeah, I think for a middling card, I think we did a pretty good job breaking it down. And yeah, like Aaron said, thanks to everyone that came through, and make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron and come back next week. He'll have another banger for you. And yeah, man, for the rest of the week for me, tomorrow I will be on the MMA Locker Room Talk podcast. Once again, we'll have a new episode of that out. And then we will be doing the Cosmic Countdown tomorrow evening, talking movies if anybody's interested in that. And then Friday, I'll be back on my channel doing the weigh-in show. And then, yeah, we've got this awesome UFC Vegas 86 card, man. But yeah, shout out to the Dome and everyone in the chat. And yeah, everyone have a great rest of the week. And thanks again, my friend. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you as always, man. Looking forward to next week. What do we got next week? Is that 298 next week?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Yeah, so we got Vulcan to, yeah, this is going to be a card. Wow, the rest of this card is interesting. We got Rinya sacrificing Carlos Vera. Can't wait to break that down next week. But until next week, appreciate it, Justin. Have a good week, everybody. Good luck, and we are out. Peace.